Dude, sorry. All right, go ahead.
Have you ever been familiar with the financial side of the funeral?
No, never. I mean, I've seen people go through it, but myself personally, I've never been on the financial side before. I know it's expensive though.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. So you never know. So you said you know people have.
Yeah, yeah. When my grandmother passed away, or not my grandmother, I'm sorry, my grandfather.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man. I was only like 6.
Oh,
But I know my grandmother had to take care of everything, and because she had lost, her husband, she was kind of in a tough spot. So my mom ended up, doing a lot of the arrangements and stuff.
oh, okay.
But I know it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, an average funeral cost is about 14,000.
Damn.
14,000. Some might get cheaper, some might even more than that, but the average is about 14,000.
Okay.
What a lot of families don't realize is that insurance companies don't handle the funeral costs the way they used to. Okay. Now, how it used to work is, say something were to happen to you, your wife would take that, that insurance policy you have, $15,000, and hand it to the funeral director, and that will serve as collateral until the insurance check shows up. Now, it doesn't work like that anymore. The way it works now, well, the way it used to work, insurance companies used to have to pay on a policy within 24 days. Now, they hang on to your policy. They hang on to your policy for 60 days. You know why they do something like that?
I have no clue.
No clue?
No.
It's interest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they make millions and millions of dollars off of interest just hanging on to your policy. And this puts a lot of families at burden of that out of pocket cost when it comes to funeral time.
Gotcha.
So also,
Yeah. 2 companies.
the two companies that are buying the two companies that was going around buying all the funeral. Dang, I drew a blank. There's two companies that's going around buying up all the funeral homes in the United States and Canada. One is out of Texas called SCI. And the other one is out of Canada called Alderwood Group. They're pretty much trying to be a Walmart of the funeral industry. Okay. The reason why I bring them up is because they have a corporate policy saying that they want 50% of all the costs up front. Okay, so I don't know what you guys' financial situation is, but most families I sit down with don't have the extra $7,000 laying around for a funeral. And the ones that got $7,000 laying around want to pay for the bills that come after the funeral.
Sure.
Yeah, so we came up with this. Okay, it's called Freedom of Choice Funeral Certificate. So the way it works is, say something would happen to you, God forbid. It doesn't matter when, where, how, or why. It could be tomorrow, God forbid. It could be 50 years from now. It could be from cancer, disease, anything between. It does not matter. What you do is you take this funeral certificate right here, give it to any funeral home in the United States.
Oh, you mean my kids will, not me.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I'm so
No, that's all right.
Yeah, your kids will, not you. And they'll pretty much take it. Any funeral home will take this. In fact, they love it because they know it's backed by a powerful union such as yours, and they know they're gonna get paid. Okay, so say you wanted that traditional funeral, casket, flowers, the funeral service, grave site, and say all this costs about $15,000. Okay, what you'll do is write that price that you're quoted at right here.
Me or my kids?
Your kid. Like you
Oh, okay. Right, like, because this is when I pass.
Right, this is when you pass.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So your kids or your wife will put that 15,000 right there, okay? And they'll write down their special funeral arrangements, and then they'll sign it themselves as the beneficiary, okay?
Okay.
They give this to the funeral director, and then everything's taken care of at that point. No out-of-pocket costs whatsoever, okay? Just keep the funeral under 37 grand, and you keep your wife's funeral under 37 grand as well, okay? Those are two important numbers. Now, the funeral director, once you leave the funeral home, is going to call our corporate office, and you're going to ask us two questions. You're going to ask, one, are you enrolled into the program? And after I leave today, you will be. Two, they're going to ask how much money you have to work with. Now, if I were to tell them that you had $37,000 to work with, how much you think your funeral is going to magically cost?
$36,999.
Exactly. They're going to charge you whatever you got to work with, and it shouldn't work like that. And we don't allow it to work like that. So what we do is we never mention the number. We ask that your family don't mention the number either. All we do is simply pay the price, what it's quoted at, and we cut your kids and your wife the check for the difference. Okay, it's that simple, it's that easy, and it's the most compassionate way of dealing with something that we all have to deal with one day. Okay, it's like pretty much a pre-arrangement to a funeral. Now, are you familiar with pre-arrangements?
Kinda.
Kinda. Okay. Well, it's very simple in concept. Pretty much everything is taken care of prior to death. works the same exact way, but remember, this is portable and permanent. You're not locked in just a one funeral home. And also, prearranged can be about $100 a month, and it's based on whatever you pay your money, the money you paid into it. This is just a blank check for $37,000 for you and your wife, and both of you guys get one. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah,
You say it's important to have this.
of course, yeah.
Why is this important to you?
Well, knowing that when I do pass, you know, my family doesn't have to take out a loan or, you know, scrounge up the money for it. They just walk into the field. It's like a peace of mind, man.
Exactly. I completely 100% agree with everything you just said. It's peace of mind. Everything is taken care of. You know, you don't gotta worry about your family